Hello everyone, and welcome to the final edition of the Low Code Cafe this year. This is the special Christmas edition, and it will be a different event than usual. If you've been here in the past, you know usually this is a technical community event. We do a lot of hands-on low coding, showcasing some of the cases that come through support, showing the product roadmap, right? But we'll do none of that today. Today is most about looking back at what happened great this year, but also looking not just from a product perspective or from a plant and perspective, but also from a customer perspective. And we are going to give some awards to the community members that supported, invested, participated in Plant and App in this past year. And we appreciate your efforts and your involvement quite a lot. And just so you know, I mean, we do have some awards to the best in each of the categories that we'll announce, but our thanks go to everyone there that was involved, and it's so nice to have you being part of this journey together. That is a very good journey. And I think in the scope of this webinar, but spreading a bit also around it, is that we managed to create this community this year. So probably this is the biggest achievement. On the one hand, we have the low code webinar, but the other hand, we also have the community forums. We have the videos on YouTube that we publish more and more. I think Gav made some statistics today, and maybe I'll invite him afterwards to show just a few slides of how much content and how much involvement we got from the community this year. So I think that is a big achievement, being part of something, helping each other, you know, growing together. That makes the wonderful story. And you know, I was discussing today with the team. We just came from a team meeting, you know, the one with everyone before the Christmas, looking at everything we accomplished so far. So I will give you the overview as well. Because yeah, this year was challenging for all of us. You know, it challenges in new ways to change how we do things, to change how we respond. You know, how we respond more dynamically to change. You know, and took us out of let's say planning ahead. You know, more into figuring out what tools do we need to have. You know, what mindset do we need to have. What people do we need to have in order to be able to overcome this unplanned crisis or moments? You know, I mean, COVID is a big crisis, but if you think about it at a smaller scale, every business all of our businesses faced this kind of smaller challenges, you know, on a regular basis, where maybe we lose a customer, or maybe we have a too bigger customer, you know, and we have challenge delivering, or maybe it's about employees growing the team or losing team. You know, it's always challenges that we have to overcome. So I think in this context, Plant and App, it's more than just a tool, right? It's more than just a technology, another tool that you use. We heard so many stories this year from people being empowered by it, you know, changing their lifestyle, changing their business. You know, we heard story of people coming from outside IT, you know, and in a couple of weeks managing to build great systems. Right. We heard story of people building systems in 2 days and going live with them. Right. So these are amazing stories that they go past adopting a tool. They go towards changing the mindset of people and putting those kind of tools and people, because we also technology comes with our team that backs it up. Right. To adapt quickly, to respond quickly, to change that mindset into, yes, I'm prepared for tomorrow, whatever comes, right? So speaking from our perspective right now, this year has been good with us despite everything. We started, when we started this Plant and App more publicly at the end of last year, we had nearly nothing, right? We had a product that had a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs. It was mostly unusable, right? We didn't have any official Plant and App customers, right? We are in the very early days. But now when we look 1 year later, we see that we accomplished a lot of things. In January, we got our biggest customer that really gave us the confidence and the budget to keep maturing, to keep growing Plant an App. We were in 500 startups in San Francisco for 5 months, growing our business, doing more of the growth hacking mindset. You know, how do we take this good technology to find a market for it? You know, because many of you know our history. Yeah, we come from the DNN world, where DNN is a small ecosystem, right? That is no longer enough in order to keep up with all the technology demands of the world today, right? So we needed to expand our market to a broader audience, and we managed to do that with Plant an App. Then the COVID came. Our idea was that, yeah, we'd be raising some money in Silicon Valley. It's so easy, right? It was supposed to be easy, but then COVID struck, and then we just had to put that muscle into at work, you know, to see how do we adapt to this, how do we move forward, how do we keep going and keep going at an accelerator. Right? So that's when we decided to let's go this alternative route to start equity crowdfunding, to raise money from our community, from our partners, but also from other investors that see low-code as this big revolution of democratizing development, you know, and people, lifestyle, and mindsets. So that has been going on now well, and I will talk a bit more in a second. But this also allows us, as we grow, as we acquire new customers, as we get funding, to hire people. Right? So this year, I think we grew our team with 8 people so far, right? And all put in the context that we want to hire people, rockstar people, you know, so we can build a rockstar team, that we can build this great product to this great market that we all envision, right? So with this team, we are able to keep iterating on the product. The product that we have today, it's infinitely better than what we have 1 year ago, both in terms of features, capability, but also stability and onboarding. You know, it's a lot of progress that we did in the past year. And if I were to summarize from a business perspective, Plant an App for 2020, we went from 0 to $500,000, right? So that, I think, for a new company, that is a very good progress. Of course, we had a lot of pieces in place, like technology, the team, so we didn't start from 0. But from a revenue perspective, from a customer adoption perspective, we started from 0, right? So it was a great year for us. We've proven what we had to prove, that yes, this is something that it will work. This is something that we strongly believe in, that we can scale, right? So we already have 48 customers that use Plant an App, and it generates 375,000 in subscriptions annually. And this year, subscription plus services, our gross profit was 0.5 million. No. So it's a very good start, and we are well in place for a good 2021. So, I mean, that's a brief overview. I will speak more about what's coming towards the end. But right now, I would like to move more into the awards part. And I'm hoping that maybe, Gav, maybe you can help me promote people to panelists as we are announcing it.
Sure.
Cool. So at the end of the year, as I was saying, we looked back at everything that we did so far, and also all the help that we got to get here, because I don't think we could have done it alone. I mean, definitely we couldn't have done it without you. It makes no sense to do it without a community and without customers, right? So you are a big part of what Plant an App is today. And we wanted to show this appreciation while also doing something for the world and making some donations. So we'll have 6 nominees today, 6 winners today for various categories. And each of these will have a $200 ticket that they can donate to the nonprofit of their choice. Cool. So without further ado, let's move on into the first award of today. And this first one, it's about the person that attended local cafe the most in 2020. We call it the scholar, right? Because that person learned the most. And I would like to invite Jim Anthony to claim his prize and also maybe give us a few words about why did he join, what did he learn, and what do you see for the future? So Jim, I promoted you to panelist, so if you want to say a few words, it would be greatly appreciated. If not, you can just tell me and I will dare to speak on your behalf.
Well, I wasn't quite ready, and when you promoted me, my signal, my meeting dropped out for a moment. So,
No worries.
Well, thank you very much. I found this through the Planet App through the DNN community, and in addition to being a consultant, I have a retail store that I own and operate, and was looking for a solution to help me train my employees and you better replace a lot of paper. That's how I came to the environment, and I keep learning more every day about all the things I can do, and I haven't found the limitation yet, other than like getting my mindset right to come from my corporate development world to, hey, I can do this a lot quicker and faster now, and it's just stable and keeps on going. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Jim, and thanks for being here every single week with just a few exceptions. What keeps you coming every week? I imagine that we are all so busy, we all have a lot of things to do. What keeps you coming every week?
Because I have a large mainframe corporate world of or a way of thinking about systems, I come every week because every week I learn something new and see a different way of thinking about about how to do it, and the interaction and stuff with the team, and actually watching and just learning every week. So that's, and I have great hope for the future here. So
cool. Thanks a lot, Jim. It's very nice to see you every week, and we enjoy your questions as well, your challenges that you put in the chat.
I thought I was being too much of a pain because I sometimes ask very simple questions.
No, they are very good questions, and thank you for engaging with us, because the webinar is so much better when people engage and ask questions, because then you know that you are answering what's on people's mind. You don't do it in the blind. So thanks a lot for being involved.
Thank you.
Cool. We are ready to move to the next award. And this one, we call it the hero. So the hero is about the people that helped others the most on the community portal. So in case you are not aware, but I'm sure that most of you are, I think 4 months ago or so, we launched a community forum with the purpose of allowing community members to help each other in a much more streamlined way than they were able to do on a help desk ticketing system. The vision with the community portal that it will keep growing. We'll add other engagement features there, like publishing roadmap, publishing the webinars there. So it will grow into a big piece where people can engage and contribute also with each other, but also with the Planet team. But this one is probably the most important aspect of the community portal, helping others make the most out of Planet and move forward to deliver their systems that will impact customers, it will impact users, it will impact their life. So without further ado, this award goes to the name of Ben Santiardo. I think we have it here in the call, so let me, oh, you already promoted it. Thanks. Cool. Ben, so yeah, thank you so much for helping others.
Well, it's been quite a pleasure. I love the product. I've been with you guys for many years now, starting with, DNN Sharp and the main DNN platform. I've moved with you guys through so many iterations, and your software has been such a lifesaver in so many different aspects. I use it for not only my own company, where we help families adopt children, but I also work with other companies, and I've used the software with them as well. So it's quite a useful, amazing tool that just keeps on evolving, and I'm lucky to be a part of the community, and I love to help. For me, programming is fun. So I see people that need help, and if I know the answer or I have some ideas, I'm more than willing to share.
Thanks. I think that is highly appreciated by all the community members, also by us, by the Plantanet team. So what do you feel like it's your main driver when you, because again, we live in this world where everyone is so busy, you get those notifications on inbox. What's your drive to jump on and help the others?
Honestly, I learned a lot of the programming that I know on my own. I never really had the opportunity to have a mentor to teach me the ropes. So a lot of it has been through the years, over 20 years of me digging through books and websites and, scrounging information here and there. It would have been nice when I was coming up the ranks if there was someone that I could bounce ideas off of, or someone who has tackled a similar problem and can at the very least point me in the right direction. So when I see other people posting questions, and I say to myself, oh, I did that same exact thing, or I did something really similar, at least I can advise them where to look. To me, it's a great way to give back to that community and to help others instead of having them spinning their wheels. We should all be here to kind of help each other out.
I think that's awesome, Ben. I think you are awesome for helping others. And thank you for being part of our community. And since you are the most active user, let's say it on the community forum, what do you feel like is the biggest thing to get for in the community forum to help improve engagement, helping others in the coming year?
You mean what's the best use of the forum, you mean?
I mean, what else, or what new features or new, let's say, processes do you see in 2021 that will help improve people helping each other?
Maybe, I don't know, just a way of signaling topics. I mean, right now it's basically, by the title of what someone posts. Mm-hmm. Maybe if there was just a way to kind of filter out a little bit more granular on specifically what the person is touching upon, what either the module they're doing or something to that effect. It might help those that have more experience with one area than another. They could focus in on that area and just be notified with that specific particular topic. But other than that, I think it's a great evolving platform. It's something that I have been looking forward to for many years, to go back to that community feel. I know you guys had that way early on, and then when we moved to that help center, it wasn't as really easy to see that as a community feel. It was more of a help desk. Yep. And I'm really happy to see that we're getting back to that community, aspect of it.
Thanks. Yeah, that was the idea behind it. With the help desk, we try to do 2 in 1. Both the help desk and the community. That didn't work. What's awesome about the community portal is that it's built entirely with Plantanet, so that's another great use case of Plantanet as well. So, yeah. But anyway,
thank you very much.
Thanks. No, thank you for being for helping others and being so involved. And Yeah, in terms of the let's say the logistics of this award, we'll get to talk with each of you after the webinar on email to see how we coordinate. Cool. So now let's move on to the next award, which is the Evangelist. So this is the person that spoke most about Plant and App in various groups, other, let's say, Zoom meetings, forums, and so on. So for me, that was obvious, but we also did a bit of due diligence who that person is. So I'm very happy to invite Tycho, which most of us know from the DNN community, very active voice, to claim this award and give us a brief introduction about his first steps in Plant and App, because Tycho, I think, started in Plant and App 2 or 3 months ago, so he has a very fresh perspective on it.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, it's an honor. And it's quite easy to be enthusiastic about Plant and App because, well, the base is that you deserved it over the years. I mean, DNA Sharp has earned all the trust there is because you have always been there creating rock solid products. And I think we all have been waiting to for the next phase, and Plant and App does just that. So for me, as a total non-developer, it has become feasible to create applications. And one of the main reasons I also embraced this is that we have a lot of shortage of IT talent. And I think we can create a whole new market for people who are not developers, but can create applications.
Cool. So you mentioned, I mean, you mentioned on the emails, and if you allow me, I will quote you on that, that you are one of those affected by the manage.com outage,
Yeah.
big story, and that you rebuilt one of the systems in much shorter time. Can you give us a bit of more information about that?
Yeah. Well, I created a donation platform. Before the manage.com hit, there was always also free donationplatform.com because everything that I built, I put it on as download. So everyone could download the solution. They just had to purchase a DNA Sharp license. I intend to do so again, but one of the first customers that I need to rebuild was the donation platform. And initially it took me 3 months to create that. And rebuilding that was in 3 weeks. I must say I had a lot of help from Hans Lenting. I mean, he's been awesome the last couple of months, and I would have been lost without him. So a lot of credit to him, but certainly a lot of credit to Plant and App because it was a blast, really.
Cool. Thanks. And I think from the story that you tell, you had a great transition path. So what would you recommend others that resist going to Plant and App yet, maybe because of the pricing structure or maybe because of just learning something new?
You mean in the transition from the app suite to Plant and App?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, well, that is actually a no-brainer. I mean, because of the app builder, even if you just want to upgrade the modules, because there's a one-click upgrade, I think that will save you about 30 to 40 hours per year. So there is your benefit already. And I don't know about others, but I think when creating an application, not just building tables, but after a couple of hours thinking, oh yeah, I should have done that differently, and then rebuilding your table and renaming stuff, and it saves you really, really a lot of time. So it's to me, it's no-brainer. I can highly recommend it.
Cool. Thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for sharing the word. What can I ask you what drives you to speak about us, to recommend us whenever you see the opportunity? Maybe not just from the plant lab perspective, but I see you do this quite with our other vendors as well. You do this with other technologies. So what drives you to recommend technologies to others?
Well, we're all in this together. I mean, the DNN community, we all help each other. And if I see something that I know will benefit them, I won't hesitate to help other people along. And sometimes it's with code, sometimes it's with strategy insights, and sometimes it's with innovations like these. And if people are hesitant because of the pricing or stuff like that, of course, I'll enlighten them with my point of view.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Tycho, for speaking about us as well. It's greatly appreciated, and it helps us, spread the word. And our biggest vision is that we move DNN and DNN Sharp into this new mindset of low-code system development. So I think thank you for embracing that and advocating for that. And this is our recognition for you doing that.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Tycho. Cool. So let's move on to the next award. And this time it will be an internal award. And again, probably a no-brainer for people that joined the webinar. So this award goes to the person that helped prepare the most content for this webinar in this year. And it's no-brainer if you are here that this person is our own Radu. So let me promote Radu to a panelist. And Radu, he's been doing it for a while, and then we get other people to doing it, and he's also been the advocate, encouraging people that it's okay to do a webinar. It's a very nice feeling of helping others and showing others how things can be, what things can be achieved. So Radu, I invite you to speak and tell us a bit how was your experience so far? What do you get out of this webinar?
Hello. Hey, hello, and welcome back to a new low-code episode. I think, as my experience, I think the first 5 episodes were a little bit, harder for me to understand that we have such a great community around us. I saw so much support and so many good questions, and people getting more and more involved with us. And helping us doing this series, this Netflix mini-series of the low-code cafe. Really happy to see that we are growing as a community each month. And I just hope that we're going to continue in this trend, and we're going to build the most awesome low-code community around the world.
Cool. So just out of curiosity, how did you convince other people from our team? Because some people in our team are reluctant to do the public speaking part. That's something we encourage. I encourage everyone to do it. It's not like people are natural. Very few people are natural. I'm not a natural. I started doing it, getting better and better every time. Hopefully, I'm satisfying level now. Hopefully.
I see.
So how do you encourage others to make the courage to do it?
It's, I feel like it's not about, it's not, people that watch the webinar are not that scary, and are not gonna, be that mad if you mess something up or something is not, working perfectly from the first time. You just need to be confident in yourself that you're gonna do a great, session in the webinar. And actually, people underestimate the skills that they have. So they're going to handle really, really well. And doing this, I think it's also, a way to get some courage to speak publicly, which is not a skill that everyone has, or at least wants to have. But I think, like, for me, it also feels like it's a personal growth. So I'm encouraging them to do at least 1 or 2 episodes to see how it feels, and maybe they'll like it, maybe they're not gonna like it. But I just ask people try first and then say yes or no. So, and you know, Elena did it, and I think she did a great job. Robert did it, and he also did a great job. And I really hope in the future there are going to be other awesome rock stars in the team to present more of the webinars.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Radu, for doing so many editions. I know it's been a big effort of time in preparation and a lot of sweat when things don't work during the webinar. You know? But we managed it through, and we created, what was it, Gav? 25? 26?
27, I think.
27.
27 with the first two. 25 local cafes plus 2.
Yeah, so we created quite a lot of them, and it was a good effort, much appreciated. And this is why we thought that this award should go to you.
Thank you very much.
And now we are moving on to the final awards that we are going to present today. And for this one, for the early adopters, so these are people that adopted Plant an App earlier when there was many initial issues, you know, so it was a bigger risk that they took with us that we appreciated, and it helped us evolve the platform as well. And we couldn't pick one, you know, we had to pick two because they were the two biggest and strongest advocates out of the earliest adopters. So I would like to invite Andrew Bryson and Roberto Caporale to claim this award and give us their perspective on where did they find, what did they see in Plant an App when they first adopted it. So Andrew, would you like to start?
Unmute. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, awesome. There's lots of other business owners, I'm sure, on this call, and a lot of people have a lot of good technical background and passion for what they do. So when I first started with DNN Sharp quite a while ago, I saw that the team that was comprised of DNN Sharp really knew their stuff, was really passionate, and the drive to try and make the best product they can was there. So, you know, when the opportunity came up to get on board early with Plant an App, I kind of got the same feeling that, you know, with the business acumen within the company and just the sheer technical know-how and really experience with apps, I knew that it was going to be a success. And after seeing an early version, a preview of what was being built, I just, you know, having an architect background, my mind just started to, as you guys are well aware, start thinking of all of the applications that this product could use. And then I was, you know, I've been involved in looking at other and evaluating other no-code or low-code solutions, and this product is going to be a big winner. There's all sorts of good, like integration. I talked about integration, Bogdan. This product could be ideal for just pure integration. Even if you take the GUI away and just use it for an integration platform, oh my goodness, it's going to be a home run. So at the end of the day, I guess from an early adopter point of view, I just believed in what I saw, and you know, despite maybe a few issues here and there, I knew that the team behind it was working probably 23 hours a day to make this the best that they can. And you know, that's kind of why I got on board early. I just knew it was going to be a winner.
That's very, very good to know, and thanks for putting your trust in us. And it was a good journey, and I have to be honest with you as well. I do appreciate your vision on how you see it as an integration tool, and also integrating with Swagger. I think that definitely creates like a next level experience for getting things inside the platform. So that's a very strong vision. Yeah, so thanks a lot for taking the early risk with us and sticking with us and continuing with us for the 2021 as we are going to build more and more things. And unfortunately, we don't have Roberto Caporale here with us to have his words, but Roberto Caporale, I will talk a bit about him. He's a partner.
So can I give a big shout out to Reza before we?
Of course.
He's been instrumental. He's been instrumental in helping us over the last year, really. And I just want to give a big shout out to him, because if not for him, I don't think the experience would have been as seamless for us, just because we're not experts at this like we used to be. So Reza, a big shout out for you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. It's been my pleasure. Really appreciate you all.
Thanks, Reza. Cool. Yeah. So Roberto, it's our also comes from the DNN world. He's from Italy. So Italy seems like also a good market for low code, and he's adopted it earlier with the purpose of growing it in Italy, doing also a low code academy, similar to how we want to do it. So he has a very strong vision with low code for Plant an App and low code. And I will send the word to him via email. I'm sorry that he couldn't be here today. Cool. So yeah, I mean, even though we gave this award to these people that are awesome, I think we are all awesome. And thanks everyone for being involved into Plant an App, for building things, for building stories, first of all, because this kind of stories, it's what Plant an App is about. I delivered that system in 2 days. I came from that technology that didn't help to Plant an App, and now I can do anything and satisfy the customer or the board or something like this. These are the stories that we all hear. And for us, it's not stopping here. So in 2021, in the first part of the year, we plan to hire a bunch more people to keep growing. So we'll have Dale switch to the head of support role full-time from February. We'll have a growth marketer that we are already started the process of hiring. We are going to hire somebody to work just on the business, on the partner channel. Also the development team, getting a Scrum Master, more developers, more testers. So we have plans even now in the first 3 months of the year to keep growing this in order to deliver increased value. But yeah, these things cost money. We are, as you imagine, and our financial data is publicly now because we are fundraising. So it's easy to see that we are not profitable yet. We are in the growth phase. We want to grow as much as possible without compromising, stability quite a bit in the short amount of time. So how do we hire all these people? We keep raising money from investors. We are already launched on Republic. We are now at $135,000 I think. And we aim to close it at least at 300K, but we aim for $500,000. We also are going to launch in January on Seedlink, which is another equity crowdfunding campaign here in Romania, where we have some investors that would like to invest through a Romanian special vehicle. And that's what Seedlink is about. But also start looking for the lead VC, the bigger investors, that can maybe in the second half of the year can help us get to the next level with more funding. Because this is a different approach than what we did with DNN Sharp that grew over 10 years, slowly, month by month. With the revenue, we hired new people. It was good growth, organic growth. But what we feel now with Plant an App is that low code is a market now, it's a hot thing now. We have to move fast to get our solution into the world to make it popular and capture a significant market share. Right? So that's why we need to move fast, and for that we need funding. So again, in case you haven't done so, you can become a Plant an App investor on Republic. The campaign is still going on. Also, if you know other investors, invite them. It helps us put more back into the product, and also helps investors because, as you can see, our vision with this thing is to make it really big. We want to make it a unicorn, right? So we want to make it a 1 billion company. Good. And why do we do this? And here I would like to fall to an open conversation. We do this we raise money now to improve the product on one hand, right? So this means a lot of features that some were discussed internally, some were discussed publicly, some came from the customers, like application templates, training programs, better deployment between staging production, stability, a lot of other features, UI builders, So I would like to maybe stop now and invite all of you that want to talk about, let's call it the wish list, the Christmas wish list of features for Plant and Apple. So anyone that wants to talk, I can promote you to panelists if you are not already. What would you like to see in Plant and App that you think will make a big difference for you or for other customers?
So do we want things that are already on Reza's to-do list?
Yeah, I think we can discuss everything because here it's a broader audience, so not everyone will know that.
Okay. So the thing I'm looking forward to the most is being able to use tables in other databases and I better connect with them. I mean, we have a lot of connections now, but we can't use them in entities and things like that to help use some of the power features that are in Plant and App. I think that's in a future release already, but that's my big one because that'll allow me to talk to some of my other consulting clients because they're where we could connect to the databases that are already existing.
Number one on my list, Jim. Hear you all loud and clear on that one.
Good. Okay, and then Tycho has something about two of them actually.
Yeah. Recently I created an application and multi-language was one of the wishes. And then you discover that multi-language, as we know it in DNN, is something different than how Plant and App handles that. And that's when we just were trying to think, well, how would that be done in a gracious way in Plant and App to manage things like button texts. I mean, we ended up deciding that, for instance, new products or other entities, you might not want to do that multilingual, but things like buttons, yes, without creating that in tokens, because that gets a bit messy.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, Reza?
So been there, I've lived that as well, and it does get very messy. I think that one is a little bit longer putt, but certainly want to get and tackle that. I think the key is going to be hooking into DNN side. At the end of the day, that one's always tricky because it's not like right now we live in a time where, I mean, there's some great AI and things out there, but nothing's going to do the translation for us and hit the mark. So it's still going to take a person to maintain the various languages, but as long as we're willing to do that for now, we can probably do some things that'll aid that along, right? And leveraging like Google Translate and some things to at least get it started and say, here's your base one, whatever language it's in, right? Now let me offer you up some alternatives that you can clean up in the other languages. But we can certainly take a look at that. And we've had a lot of requests as well from around the world Obviously not so much in the US, but we do have plenty of customers around the world, and that one comes up constantly. So it's on the list.
Thanks.
Cool. We have one from Jen Sharp. She wanted to know about the auditing at the field level.
So being able to know what's changed at a field level, whereas right now it's at the record level, right? And you can basically just see, you know, who created it and who was the last one to change it or touch it, but you don't know what changed. And so I hear you on that one. I've personally implemented a couple of patterns that help with this a lot. I think, you know, we'll have to increment our way from that being core in the product. That can get very noisy and generate a lot of data that maybe everyone doesn't need or need it everywhere. However, very, very high on the list as well. And if we get some time here, I've got a few bullets of, you know, what is Q1, Q2 shaping up as. And I think one of the top items there, Bogdan touched on it, is the ability to export and import, you know, applications, templates, pieces, not just for moving between environments, but for, you know, having great starter solutions and things. And once we have that capability, I do have a pattern through workflows and some cool use of SQL Server, where it has this concept of something called temporal tables, which you can enable and turn on. And what that does then, without creating like new separate tables and things, you just mildly alter your tables and the way you query them, but you can see every single touch and change that's happened on all records, all fields. When we combine that with the workflow and this thing I call the events pattern, you'll be able to have kind of metadata that says somebody updated this ticket or changed, you know, this record, whatever. And then when you click on that, you'll see here's exactly what the state was before they changed it and what it is now. The next level of that then will be, hey, I want to roll back or make it look like it did before without even losing that happened. And so this is a very doable thing. I think it's super huge and powerful and useful for many, many reasons beyond just audit, right? But being able to kind of go back when people goof up or boo-boo or anything like that. And so I 100% think this is something we can and are going to take up very, very soon. The key is going to be having the ability to take in pieces of applications through sharing with each other. And this will be one that we'll share out. And maybe in a future low-code cafe, as we build up to that, I'd love to show that in a new template, our first template that we're developing to share out with the community. And it'll have this capability in it.
Cool. Sounds good. I think Hans has a few questions as well, a few items on the wish list.
Yeah, I've got some items. Basically, based on the workflow functionality, I would love to have some more functionality about having splits in workflows, like if some value has an integer more than 100, then go left side, otherwise go right side. And the wish of having to call the workflow from the client, for instance, if the answer from a split is A, go to that screen, or if it's B, go to that screen, so that you can handle the result of a workflow. And the other part I would like to have is working with enumerations instead of tables. For instance, if you have a status of a product which can be active or archived or new, then it's more a practice to have it in an enumeration instead of creating another table where you only have to store those 3 items. So working with enumerations it's helping to make it more dynamic, but also more manageable in workflows, for instance. So based on the enumeration, or you can split the workflow in multiple parts. So I hope we can enhance the functionality of workflows in future releases.
I do too, and we will. I think there's, you know, even just being able to define what's a required field versus not, what's a default value. I'm personally running in as these workflows get more advanced in what you're using them for, needing to set them up. And I'm starting personally to find that I'm having to add 2 or 3 actions in the beginning of the workflow just to initialize my parameters and things like that, so that I can count on them being there. And then when they go into those splits, the splits know what's going on. So definitely going to be showing, I think, this year was really about getting that functionality and getting workflows into place. Every release we do something with them. Maybe we'll dedicate one of the upcoming releases primarily focus wise. And, we want to hit the alternate data sources and just, I think the data is key, right? You get that part right and the rest follows. But then it's what you do with this data, and that's where the workflows come in. So you touched on a few things there. The splits is also our implementation team has a lot of requests and things there about, so there's much we can do. I think, one of the things that is missing in the workflows is this concept of like a rules engine, right? So the workflows by themselves are able to flow based on logic, but you end up having to create and maintain rules in those little boxes, even if we improve that UI so that it's more of a kind of a query builder type thing, a logic builder, so that you're not doing so much typing and things. What's missing, I think, is having a separate place where even the workflow can say, hey, here's my inputs and my data. Now go find the rule that this matches, right? And then give that back to me, and I can go and take I'll take the appropriate split based on that. So we can talk more on that as a community and things, but I think those two pieces go together, is when you have the ability to define and store rules, and then have your workflows make use of those rules. So those little boxes really become rules processors that are able to then say, okay, here's the result. Let's turn left, let's turn right. Please.
Do you also develop the way of using loops into a workflow? So for instance, you load a list of items, and for each item you will do a few steps in the same workflow, and at the end the workflow will be ended, like loading in a list of entities. For each item in the list, you will do 3 or 4 steps, and after that, when the list is ended, you will finish the workflow?
Yes, that's one of the ones the implementation team wants a lot. So as you branch off and make these splits, right now you're kind of forced to bring everything back together and keep going, right?
Yeah.
But we're finding that these are exit paths out that are kind of missing, right? And what happens when they get forced to come back together is that you have to make the next step somehow aware that they're not supposed to run, right? And then this becomes very clunky. So yes, having off-ramps out of the workflows is definitely in the plans and on the works, very high up in the list.
Cool.
And then you touched on being able to enumerate within the workflow off a branch. We can improve that a lot. That you can do that right now with some existing actions, the execute actions on entity list, and then they can execute within there. The problem with that, I mean, so you can do it and it's functional. It gets messy kind of fast. I mean, that's the nice thing about the workflows, is that they've introduced a visual layer to seeing how your logic flows, right? But then when you have those loops, that's all hidden inside of an action, and all the steps and things that are happening are hidden inside of that action. It's almost needing a way to very easily from the big workflow, kind of, it's almost like you have a mini workflow running in there, but needing to be able to kind of go in a level deeper and you know, kind of look under the covers and visually see what's happening under there as well. Right now you're losing that visual layer inside of the loop. So and luckily the technology that we've based the workflows on, the BPMN IO, it is a very mature, very robust open source workflow and business processing framework. And we've just kind of scratched the surface at the functionality of what is there. So we have good runway, and we picked the right kind of technology, I think, for our workflows. So these things are achievable without us having to reinvent them.
Cool. I think we'll have time to take one more, but before that, I want to announce that we have a surprise, another surprise at the end. So please, please stick, even if we go a bit over time. So there is one more item here in the chat. So maybe Ben, do you want to bring it up?
Sorry, I have to find the unmute button. No, it was just you know, two quick things. Radu had mentioned. I mean, for years I've been saying it would be great if we could, when we create our miniature apps using these tools, to be able to package them so that we can either migrate them to another system or even post it up on some sort of community like you already started building, where we can share them with the rest of the community so that they don't have to rebuild the same thing, and then they can, you know, obviously enhance and tweak them. And then one other last thing, and it's just something recently that I came across on something that I was building, is it would be kind of neat if it was possible to somehow interface a little bit more directly with the web server. I'm trying to create a system where it auto builds portals, but I also would like to be able to automate the adding of like the host names and stuff like that to the websites. And that's something that I can't do right now. So it's, instead of automating the entire process, it automates maybe about 90% of it. And then I still have to get in there manually, go under the hood and do some stuff. And I'd like to see if I can get away from that.
Yeah. We actually did that on our hosting infrastructure. And actually we have some actions in Plant&App, like the execute PowerShell, for example. It's a very useful one because from PowerShell, you can do anything. As long as the application pool has access to do this kind of things in IIS.
Yeah, I was going to kind of say the same thing. And Ben, maybe we can connect. And if I, you know, I'd like to understand a little more specifically your use case. And let me get it, you know, we've got some pretty sharp devs on the team and engineers on the team and that have done, you know, our own automations and things that Bogdan's talked about. And once I understand a little better, you know, kind of what you're trying to do, maybe we can introduce these capabilities as actions themselves, right? Mm-hmm. And make it kind of safe and secure and easy to talk to the server. But
sounds
it's all
great.
Microsoft. It's all doable.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at trying to do it myself and, you know, like hacking through it by writing my own executable that I would then execute, you know, through your actions outward. But it's just, it's such a hacky way of doing it. It would be so much easier if it was all incorporated directly in the tools themselves, as opposed to, you know, writing something separately and then kind of calling into it and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And with regards to the other one, to package things and publish them somewhere to reuse, that is on our roadmap. So we want to have a marketplace where anyone can post their things for free or paid, you know, for other Plant&App users to consume, right? So this one can be new integration, new actions. They can be even pre-packaged solutions, you know, like we have forms, data, workflows packaged in a single solution, you know, templates. So we could have a lot of this kind of extensions. So I think that's a big milestone in our development, because that's when things really scale, you know, when people can start creating their own extensions. You know, that's when the ecosystem starts growing exponentially. Cool. Okay, so yeah, thanks all for being here, and I think we have a surprise.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Bogdan. Merry Christmas, Plant&App community. Have you been good this year?
I try to.
Well, I think you have. I'm impressed with your spirit of giving, your gifts to the world earlier, your gifts to your team, and the gift that this community brings in helping one another. So to Jim, to Tycho, Jen, Hans, Ben, Bogdan, I will do my best to take a look at your list and see what I can do this year. I hope that you enjoy this season, the food, the family, the traditions, the music. Hey, by the way, do you know what music the elves enjoy? Rap music. Okay. Ho, 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 and Merry Christmas.
Thanks a lot, Santa, for taking the time to be here with us.
It is my busy season.
Cool. So, thanks a lot, everyone, for taking part in our community this year in Plant an App Story. And next year, it will be an epic year with even more achievements. So I wish you all a very nice Christmas, very nice holidays, and see you again. We'll not do the local event next week, so the next one will be in January. So see you then.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great holiday.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to all.